Reverend, the chaplain to the university.
Let us pray. Veni Sancti Spiritus, repletuorum corda fidelium, et tui amoris in eis ignem macendi, qui per diversitatem linguarum cunctarum, gentes in unitate fidei congregasti. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of your faithful, and kindle in them the fire of your love. You are the one who, in spite of differences in language, gathers all nations into a unity of faith. Amen.
On a very dreich morning, may I extend a warm welcome to this graduation ceremony. Féil Chetil a Hardain, do Humenadeg och Hai Obedain. May you be seated. Professor Gimlin.
Vice-Chancellor, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to welcome you all here today on behalf of the university to celebrate graduation. A very warm welcome to you all. I hope you have a wonderful time. And how could you do otherwise, especially you graduates? You've made it, you're here, and the whole of the university wishes to join you in celebration. In being celebrated in this way, you'll join, excuse me, the quivering voice, that's not nerves, that's excitement for you all. As you're celebrated in this way, you'll join in a tradition that stretches back more than 500 years. Obviously, that adds up to an awful lot of graduates, many of whom hold positions of influence throughout the world today, as I'm sure you will as well. Now you have a common bond with them. The individual achievement of every one of those graduates adds to, thank you. Adds to the greatness of this ancient university. Today, that means your individual achievement. And what a beautiful place to celebrate it in. Not to mention a highly symbolic one, given that I'm sure many of you suffered through a fair few exams in this room. Think back to how you were feeling at the time as you gazed at this beautiful woodwork, at the gorgeous windows, at the paintings, searching for guidance and knowledge, though probably that took you very little time because you revised so thoroughly for your exam. We congratulate you because we know how hard you worked. We know that you read, thought, analyzed, evaluated, and just as importantly, that you searched yourself for your own voice. Your success in all of those endeavors has been possible due in large part to the help and support of your family and friends. Many of you, I'm sure, will be able to recall moments of stress, of crisis and self-doubt, when the support, the generous encouragement from your family and friends was absolutely crucial. May we therefore add a personal note of thanks from the university for the help and assistance that you received. Please, let's everybody on the right side of the hall and up here express our gratitude by applauding those on the left. So, as we proceed towards graduation, I wanted to give you a bit of information about the process and a few words of recommendation for after it. As an ancient university, our graduation ceremony is conducted in Latin, so I suspect that with relatively few exceptions, we'll all be pretty much in the dark. Being the daughter of a military family myself, my own Latin extends all the way to Semper Fidelis, or Semper Fi, loosely translated to stay true, which I actually think is a very good motto to live by, but it doesn't do a whole lot to help out with the ceremony today. From attending them in the past, though, my main word of advice, well, other than that you make sure to get the correct degree. You wouldn't want to have studied to be an economist and end up being a philosopher or an art historian. Is simply to do exactly what the sacrist tells you to do. Most important, as you turn to have the graduation hood put over your head, stand still. Now, this is the one truly hazardous part of the ceremony, and we wouldn't want anyone getting strangled as they try to walk away too quickly. Do pause again as you leave the stage so that your relatives and friends can get a photograph of you. Don't stay too long, though. Keep in mind all the other graduates who are waiting for their moment in the spotlight. My second pointer is for people on both sides of the hall. Let's all be exuberant. It's wonderful to hear spontaneous clapping and cheering as graduates get their degree. Be as effusive, loud, and boisterous as you possibly can be in your recognition of them. For the soon-to-be graduates of this ancient institution, a few words of advice. Be proud of what you have achieved. Today, you'll leave with a degree that will stand you in good stead as you begin along the next phases of your career. Graduation is, after all, the beginning. It's not the end. Be ambitious. Your success to date promises only good things. Be brave. To my mind, very few people look back on their lives and regret the choices that they took. Instead, they look back with regret on not taking risks, not doing things rather than doing too much. Don't be one of those people. And finally, to return to my one Latin phrase, semper fi, stay true. Remember your intellectual roots. You are now part of this university, and we are and will always be part of you. Our warmest congratulations. We hope you have a really wonderful day. Thank you.
Dr. Scott.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you for the award of degree of Doctors of Law, honoris causa, John Edward Kinston Smith. In 2004, we have celebrated the quincentenary of the death of our founder, Bishop Elphinstone. Elphinstone was very clear that this university would be a world-class seat of learning, but would in addition preach an ethos of service to the community and of adding value to our society. In our honorary graduates, we celebrate the lives of people who have achieved real excellence in their field and whom we feel our graduates would be very proud to emulate. Our honorary graduates have achieved success in many fields, but perhaps none has individually added so much to a multitude of areas as Ed Smith. Ed Smith, who is joined here today by his wife, Jenny, had a stellar career in PwC, or PricewaterhouseCoopers, where he was variously Global Assurance COO and Strategy Chairman, with a client base which included many leading boards and top client roles in the UK and globally. Within PwC, Ed was seen as an individual that demanded as much from himself as he did any other person. And while being a pillar of that organization, he was also a rebel and seen as a completely independent thinker. Ed is remembered as being proactive in finding opportunities for other people, especially women, by being more than a mentor, by being a sponsor, and by that I mean someone who takes personal risks to fully enable people he believed in and give them the opportunities to flourish. Those qualities in themselves would have been sufficient for us to honor him today. But for Ed Smith, it was but a start on a journey where he would use the organizational business, and people skills, which had served him so well in PwC, to contribute widely to a wide range of organizations who've had an enormous and varied impact on society globally. In 2008, Ed became chairman of WWF UK, one of the UK's best-known and best-loved charities. Over the next 6 years, he steered WWF UK through a major restructuring, which made it better able to face up to the huge environmental and conservation challenges which we as a planet face. And for us here in Aberdeen, Scotland's Marine Bill, which WWF influenced hugely, is a great boon for the marine conservation we support so strongly. In addition, Ed worked tirelessly to ensure that the global network of national WWF organizations worked as a network, rather than as individual organizations, thus making the whole bigger than the sum of the parts. Ed also saw the need for WWF UK to be seen to be at the cutting edge of environmental sustainable buildings. He led the planning of a new headquarters which set new standards in green design. Ed personally chaired the fundraising committee and made a major donation. Quite simply, WWF UK was a different organization when Ed demitted office, but one much better able to continue to ensuring the future of our planet. Ed has been at the heart of the development of UK higher education policy in the past few years. As Deputy Chair of the Higher Education Funding Council for England, he was at the helm both before and after the recent recession, bringing his great experience and wisdom to the challenge of maintaining the global preeminence of UK higher education in very difficult fiscal environment. When the Student Loans Company, responsible for enabling so many students to benefit from the life-changing experience of a university education, was in tricky times and needed a steady, experienced hand, as chair, to reinvigorate its work, then who could we call to but Ed Smith? Ed's ability to transform organization was contemporaneously seen when he was asked to chair the emergent British Universities and College Sport, which brought a new dawn to the organization of advocacy for sport right across British higher education. The organization, thanks to Ed, is now a conspicuous success, providing not only the organization of sport right across the UK, but also a targeted program of profile raising within universities and within national sports organizations. I might add that while Ed's leadership has been critical in ensuring this transformation, the role did allow him to enjoy one of his passions, and that of watching top-class sport. As well as his leadership of national organizations, Ed has also been prepared to roll up his sleeves as chair of one of England's leading universities, the University of Birmingham, where he's overseen the reemergence of that great institution as a national and global force in higher education. And if you thought that was enough for anyone, Ed has now taken on two major new challenges. First, as Deputy Chair of NHS England, he has the small task of ensuring the effective leadership of one of the nation's greatest institutions. The second, Chairman of Crown Commercial Service, leading another of our great organizations. And in case you thought that was enough, he is also a non-executive board member of the Department of Transport, a member of Council and Treasurer of Chatham House, and a member of the UK Competition and Markets Authority. I could go on, as this address has only scraped the surface of the magnificent contribution that Ed Smith has made, both to business and to public life, but time forbids me. For our university, with over 500 years of history in the making, on the basis of rigorous evidence and being prepared to do so in multiple environments, there can be no more fitting person for us to honor than Ed Smith. Vice Chancellor, for his innovation and stellar business career and for his seminal contribution to public life, I ask you to award the degree of Doctors of Law honoris causa to Ed Smith.
Ego te utriusque juris tam canonicae quam civilis doctorum et magistrum constituo, creo proclamo renuntio, et in signum caput tuum hoc pilio orno, quod et felix faustumque sit, deum optimum maximum plecor. And now walking down the aisle towards me is Kirsty Campbell. Kirsty is a postgraduate student who is graduating later today with the degree of Master of Music. And she served as principal oboe in the University Symphony Orchestra and was a final in the highly prestigious Ogston Music Prize in 2013. And this morning, she is going to perform for us Gabriel's Oboe by Ennio Morricone. Professor Duff, promoter of graduands.
Domine pro cancellare, Domine doctoris et magistri, et tutat universitas, praesentur vobis hus candidatos, examine probabos, ad gradum doctoratus in philosophia promovendos.
Annuente senatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Ian Crockett.
Ego, ea auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum inulserunt, teum philosophia doctorum et magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno, quod et felix fastumque sit, Deum optimum maximum plecor.
Hilary Francis.
Et te creo.
Olive Rich.
Et te Creo.
Catherine Vincent.
Et te Creo.
Item praesanto vobis hos candidatos, examine probatos ad gradus magistratus in arte investigationes promovendos.
Annuente Senato placet primaveri.
Ascendant Katrina McGregor.
Ego auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes amai huic universitate amplissimum indulserunt. Te in arte investigatianos magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno quod felix fastumque sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Eliska Sturken.
Et te Creo.
Jonathan Potton.
Et te Creo.
Item praesanto vobis hos candidatos, examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in litteris promovendos.
Annuente Senato placet primaveri.
Ascendant Sean Marnock.
Ego auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes amai huic universitate amplissimum indulserunt. Te in litteris magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno quod et felix fastumque sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Egbidion Oberaten.
Et te Creo.
Sally Ann MacDonald.
Et te Creo.
Rochelle McKimmon.
Et te Creo.
Leslie Mean.
Et te Creo.
Samantha Beattie.
Et te Creo.
Maxine Bruce.
Et te Creo.
Claire Gullen.
Et te Creo.
Georgetta Movilla.
Et te Creo.
Charlotte Packer.
Et te Creo.
Ariana Schrowen.
Et te Creo.
Derek Stewart.
Et te Creo.
Alana Clegg.
Et te Creo.
Christopher Dobbs.
Et te Creo.
Heather Kennedy.
Et te Creo.
Kirsty Matheson.
Et te Creo.
Emma Patterson.
Et te Creo.
Anna Rink.
Et te Creo.
Ruth Schieferstein.
Et te crea.
Agnese Tomasella.
Et te crea.
Hannah Vickery.
Et te crea.
Laura Griffin.
Et te crea.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in scientia promovendos.
Annuente senatu placet promoveri.
Ascendant Marius Electionis.
Ego ea auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum indulserunt, te in scientia magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno, quod ut Felix Faustum quae sit, Deum optimum maximum precor.
Eleanor van Grootveld.
Et te crea.
Amelie Vorobkov.
Et te crea.
Valentin Ernie.
Et te crea.
Hannah Gibalowski.
Et te crea.
Jenny Wilson.
Et te crea.
Jean-Claude Attard.
Et te crea.
Tobias de Jong.
Et te crea.
Cassandra Fallon.
Et te crea.
Louise Mackenzie.
Et te crea.
Kim Kark.
Et te crea.
Ali Murat Gurtuna.
Et te crea.
Josh Knox.
Et te crea.
Lila Laszlo.
Et te crea.
Thomas Lawman.
Et te crea.
Alan McGarity.
Et te crea.
Rory Mellis.
Et te crea.
Ross Mulders.
Et te crea.
David Walsh.
Et te crea.
Lindsay Allen.
Et te crea.
Adam Fletcher.
Et te crea.
Augustinus Moore.
Et te crea.
Manuel Lopez Arans.
Et te crea.
Christopher White.
Et te crea.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in artibus liberalibus promovendos.
Anuente Senatu Placet Primaveri.
Ascendant Matthew Lynch.
Ego, auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum indulserunt, te in artibus liberalibus magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno quod felix fastum quae sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Dalida Binigo.
Et te creo,
Shan Reed.
et te creo,
Qui honores meruerunt Issam El Hanawi.
et te creo,
Baruchu Toru.
et te creo,
Becky Smith.
et te creo,
Stuart Will.
et te creo, and now, walking down the aisle towards me is Alison Ewan. Alison is a final year student on the degree of Bachelor of Music who specialises in Scottish traditional fiddle music. She's performed with the Scots Military Band at the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, and this year she's been invited to play at an arts festival in Norway. And this morning she is going to perform for us March, The King's House, Bobby MacLeod, and Strathspey, The Duchess of Hamilton, and Reel, Miss Wedderburn. Alison. Thank you, Alison. Now, Professor Duff, promoter of graduates.
Item praesento vobis hunc candidatum examine probatum ad gradum magistratus in scientia promovendum.
Annuente senatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Abdullah Alanesi.
Ego auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum indulserunt, teum scientia magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno, quod ut felix fastum quae sit, deum optimum maximum plecor.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum doctorutas in philosophia promovendus.
Annuente senatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Ali Muhammad Al-Husani.
Ego auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum indulserunt, teum philosophia doctorum et magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno, quod ut felix fastum quae sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Perishu Dema.
Etse creo.
Thomas Stevens.
Etse creo.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in utroque iure promovendos.
Annuente senatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Xander Brouwer.
Ego auctoritate quam summi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum indulserunt, teum utroque iure magistrum creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno, quod ut felix fastum quae sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Kamil Draganowski.
Ette creo.
Robin Gill.
Ette creo.
Kasim Olalekan Lawal.
Ette creo. Congratulations.
Prapimpan Nogtip.
Ette creo.
Christina Dar.
Ette creo.
Francois Xavier Estas.
Ette creo.
Terry Duncan.
Ette creo.
Mihaly Orban.
Ete Creo.
Agnes Vida.
Ete Creo.
Zoe Matthews Smith.
Ete Creo.
Julie Barsden.
Ete Creo.
Ailey Conacher.
Ete Creo.
Christina Hagan.
Ete Creo.
Priya Kimal.
Ete Creo.
Musa Al Mawali.
Ete Creo.
Adrienne Gros.
Ete Creo.
Mingporn Mingpat Rasiri.
Ete Creo.
Gintare Minka Vikuche.
Ete Creo.
Chawaporn Na Nakorn.
Ete Creo.
Silje Nordfett.
Ete Creo.
Bunyanat Promprapan.
Ete Creo.
P. Samankamit.
Ete Creo.
Satawut Srisara Nukrom.
Ete Creo.
Kurapong Srisorwana.
Ete Creo.
Sutanari Srivapatana.
Ete Creo.
Ploy Sriviri Alertko.
Ete Creo.
Piti Sutarasan.
Ete Creo.
Sidolak Thanawan and Wiwat.
Ete Creo.
Jarupa Wajana Ki Pai Bun.
Ete Creo.
Lu Yu.
Ete Creo.
Jacqueline Kelly.
Ete Creo.
Alicia Arata.
Ete Creo.
Joshua Irlanga.
Ete Creo.
Zankutan Hassar.
Ete Creo.
Mark Strachan.
Ete Creo.
Elijah Akakaho.
Ete Creo.
Yuadi Amorn Sirivi Papa.
Ete Creo.
Ajibola Areg Bishula.
Ete Creo.
Kimberly Cusack.
Ete Creo.
Sapida Kuran Jovanic.
Ete Creo.
Juliette Komogisa.
Ete Creo.
Perez Mann.
Ete Creo.
Nicholas Muhureza.
Ete Creo.
Marianthi Papa.
Ete Creo.
Criso Valanti Plastira.
Ete Creo.
Christian Rose.
Ete Creo.
Jonathan Shepherd.
Ete Creo.
Natapat Vasutada.
Ete Creo.
Yorm Abeldu.
Ete Creo.
Timi Awa.
Ete Creo.
Michael Weidart.
Ete Creo.
Situkeka Ekanamem.
Ete Creo.
Larissa Milligan.
Ete Creo.
Sarah Trippier.
Ete Creo.
Raymond Utuk.
Ete Creo.
Emmanuel Enekar.
Ete Creo.
Ukrit Sornprom.
Ete Creo.
Item presanto vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum baccalaureatis en utroque iure promovendos.
Anuente senatu placet promoveri.
Ascendant Brett Hampton.
Ego, auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitatea amplissimum indulserunt, te nutroque iure baccalauream creo, in quies rei testimonium caput tuum hoc pilio orno quodut Felix Faustum quae sit, Deum optimum maximum plecor.
Alison McCrae.
Ete Creo.
Qui honores meruerunt Rebecca Arbo.
Ete Creo.
Gillian McLaren.
Ete Creo.
Scott Moyer.
Ete Creo.
Stephanie Seaway.
Ete Creo. Dr. Smith.
Vice-Chancellor and Principal, members of the University Senate, members of the University Court, members of the University, this is truly a great honour for me, and I thank you for the award, and I'm genuinely humbled. I'm humbled even more by the fact that my wife and I have spent the morning travelling around this great university, seeing the buildings ranging from the very early times of 1500s through to the fantastic new library, the sports building, and I can guarantee that from now on, not only being a graduate of this university, I will be a lifelong friend of it. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, you will also, I hope, understand that I am somewhat embarrassed to be cited so eloquently and in such terms earlier on. It is perhaps just one side of the coin, so to speak, which is of course recognisable by some, but without the other side. My dear parents, for example, might have added a difficult child, a rebellious teenager, late to grow up. My various staff and bosses might have added rather stubborn, a scary stare, ferocious about winning. My 3 kids might have added a scary dad, and hey dad, lighten up, give us a break. And as for my dear wife who's here today, try to do less and to come home a bit more. So I'm just a normal person, quite frankly, who like us all have flaws, but I'm one perhaps who's had through life a bit more good fortune than bad luck. And as one grays and reflects, knows the great spirit of giving, which is at the heart of such great institutions of learning as the University of Aberdeen. So as you graduate and leave the people at Aberdeen who have given you their experience and expertise, and you reflect on your time here, what next? Yes, of course, either yet another degree or a qualification. Perhaps a job awaits after a well-earned break. And I wish you well in your future endeavours. But I think it's not just about what next. It's actually about how you do it and how your inner self, something that you only can tell and know, possibly guides the way in which you lead your life. Sport, to me, epitomises much that is relevant to your future worlds. Compete, yes, of course. Your lives demand that, but compete fairly. Don't knowingly snick a ball and stand your ground, even if it was the Australians a couple of years ago. Don't make a hole in your trouser pocket for that extra golf ball to drop through to the preferred spot. Don't dive like Tom Daley, but when playing soccer. Don't call a tennis ball out when you know it hit the line. As your Vice-Chancellor knows, I am fiercely competitive to win, but through force of argument, force of evidence base, force of having done my homework on those I'm competing against, and for those who have to convince to win our cause or our case, as we do in the sustainability agenda. That in business terms is the same as being fit and playing sport at peak performance. Business-like sport is also often a team effort. So work as a team member, whatever you do, and your colleagues will multiply your own contributions. Recognise that sometimes, in my case, more often than not, your teammates are much better than you are in some areas, attack or defence, scoring the goals or feeding the ball so that you can score. Sport is also a great leveller. It knows not in large measure social background, which is much more the case in commerce today than it was. The reason I was so privileged to chair British universities and colleges sport is that we know every Wednesday and throughout our national competitions, young people are developing life skills for the world of work and of living in a multicultural, multidimensional society, as well as, of course, having great fun in their trades and sports. And it was a great honour for me to hand on after my 6 years to your Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Sir Ian Diamond, the Chair of Bucks today. The reason I'm so privileged to be Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the Council of the University of Birmingham is because I see thousands of both academic staff and professional support staff using academic and professional learning to pass on not only the academy of the discipline being taught, but the academy of lifelong learning, including those of collegiality, integrity, evidence-based decision-making, and both coaching fellow students and those students coaxing others to get up in the morning and to leave the bar before dawn. I'm told a thing of the past, but then not always. Many of those skills will fit your business futures as well, apart from perhaps the last one. Let me turn briefly to another passion, WWF. As was said earlier, the World Wildlife Fund, not the World Wrestling Federation. You will inherit from older and previous generations great technological, medical, and societal advancements. You will also inherit a planet heading to 9 billion by 2050, and more beyond that. Mankind will need to produce as much food, some reports say, in the next 40 years as we have in the last 8,000 years. Our planet bears an increasingly heavy human footprint, borne both by the volume of people and by excess consumption, principally in Western and Northern economies. I don't know whether we have the intellectual capacity to solve the prospective water and food challenges, or those created by carbon-based warming of our planet. The human race is a great survivalist, and so maybe the odds are not too bad. But I would say start or continue to help shorten those odds. How each and every person lives their lives will be part of balancing consumption with critical conservation. At WWF, Professor Diamond and I led the creation of the Living Planet Centre, which will have at its moral core a place of learning and for seeing our world's species and habitats, perhaps beyond the physical reach of most young people, but surely not beyond their emotional connections. As you go forward as our future leaders, do your best to balance the trappings of your success, which you will surely have and deserve, with leading a good life. And in that, and this will be before many of your time, is not in the sense of that TV series which had Richard Bryars and Felicity Kendall mired in mud in their back gardens, full of vegetables, pigs, chickens, and in one episode, a cow. But a good life, what I mean, it has both eyes on being a tenant of our planet and not its owner. And my final role, which is undoubtedly the most complex as we sit here today, is being Deputy Chairman of NHS England. I would add to your futures by saying, keep as fit as you can, my reference back to sport and healthy living. Support those who are less able to do so themselves, and hold the NHS to account for better and more integrated care in the community. There is a massive revolution which will impact your generations more than mine in healthcare, with genomics and technology at its core. But as that revolution takes place, it is essential that our societies ensure the most vulnerable are not the least impacted by those changes. So in conclusion, may I thank the university again for this award. But most of all, I'd like to wish you all graduating today, as students from the University of Birmingham, all the very, very best for your future, and add my sincere congratulations for everything that you have achieved to date. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. And now, friends, will you stand and join me in singing God Save the Queen? the chaplain to the university.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft on your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the clasp of his hand. Amen.